Hi, everyone. My name is Yael Terjohan, Director of Cloud Growth here at Trend Micro. I've been very fortunate to have been with Trend for almost 6 years, and I've got to work with many different organizations of all different sizes. We have seen a lot of these organizations go through rapid pace of digital transformation, and I think we can all agree that the global pandemic accelerated that digital transformation. Cloud, AI, big data, and automation are all key enablers of this transformation. And one commonality, and where we as Trend Micro help organizations most part of that digital transformation, is helping them prioritize security and building it into the transformation from the beginning. In this fireside chat, I'll be joined by Chris Cruz, Director, AWS Marketplace and Control Services. Chris and I will discuss how the cloud delivers acceleration to digital transformation and how security teams can leverage the transformation to more meaningfully engage with the business and drive better business outcomes. Welcome, Chris.
Thanks. I'm looking forward to the conversation.
Wonderful. Well, why don't we start by having you just talk a little bit about your role and about yourself?
Sure. So, Chris Cruz, I'm Director of Business Development for AWS Marketplace and Control Services, which is Service Catalog and Control Tower. And we predominantly work with Trend Micro with the marketplace front. And my marketplace organization is really split up between three different pillars. So I've got one part of my organization that works with the ISV community like Trend Micro and gets them into the marketplace catalog. My second pillar is a team that focuses on the channel organization. So Trend Micro, along with a lot of other ISVs, go to market with channel partners. And so we've adopted Marketplace that channel partners that can now leverage that as part of their go-to-market motions. And the third and final pillar I have is a team of Marketplace customer advisors. And this is a team that sits out in our geographies, and they work with AWS customers as they look to use Marketplace to buy their third-party subscriptions. But collectively, our goal is to help our customers transform their business, and looking forward to the conversation today.
Wow, sounds like you're really busy. So I really appreciate you joining our fireside chat and sharing your experiences and thoughts with our customers. You know, AWS has been built on helping customers leverage the cloud to achieve rapid digital transformation. Our conference is focused on how security is fundamental to digital transformation. I'd love to hear a little bit, about your experience with AWS customers and what's some of those commonalities amongst those customers that get it right.
Yeah, it's a good question. I would say the first commonality I see is that the companies that do this well, they take a day one mentality as it pertains to security. And what I mean by that is that they recognize that security is not an afterthought. It needs to be part of your overall cloud strategy. And they set the right procedures and guardrails in place up front so they can then innovate, but do it in the right way. A lot of times people think that guardrails actually slow things down, but what we found is that it actually speeds things up because it gives you direction. It effectively keeps you on the road. And there's a lot of studies that actually prove that out, where if you find something up front and you can address security early in the process, it's much easier to remediate than something that makes it all the way out to production and then you're trying to remediate something that's out in prod. And so we see that companies that do well, they recognize that security needs to be upfront in the process. The second thing that we see that for companies that do it well is they do a very good job of adopting the AWS shared security model. And so under that model, AWS is responsible for really the operating system, the hypervisor, and everything below that, including all the physical data center security elements. We do all the separation of security and networking, and we do all the certification for our platform as well. And so the customers that really recognize that and build on top of it, effectively allows them to take advantage of all of our certifications for things like ISO 2017 for cloud security or ISO 27018 for cloud privacy. We do all that certification for our customers. And then when they build on top of it, they inherit that by default. And then we provide a lot of best practices on top of that. But we also look at leveraging third-party ISVs like Trend Micro to provide additional security for our customers on top of the AWS platform. And so the customers that do it well, they take advantage of the shared security model that we provide, and then they complement that with strong solutions out of the market like Trend Micro.
Chris, you mentioned guardrails, and a metaphor we frequently use with customers is, when you're moving to the cloud, you want to go fast with the car. We love driving fast, but without the brakes, you're unsafe. So security is definitely part of that. We're always talking about technology, it being a transformation, but there's much more to it. There's also cultural transformation. What do you think security teams need to be mindful when it comes to this cultural shift?
Well, I think they just need to acknowledge that there's a convergence going on as it pertains to security. right? When you take a look at what's happening between the development teams, the security teams, and the operations teams, you're really seeing that convergence across those three separate but very important organizations. And so the industry term is obviously DevSecOps. And we're seeing that as really being a very important shift from a cultural perspective. Security is no longer just the CISO's responsibility. It's a shared responsibility across an entire organization. And so we see that happening with a lot of our big customers where security is getting distributed throughout the organization, and they're embedding that security expertise throughout a company, and they're designing it into their development and their operational processes. As part of that, what we're also seeing is that you have to have a strong procurement system in place so you can actually manage that software coming in and then effectively manage and track that as well. And that's really where the marketplace value proposition also starts to play into the security aspect for our larger customers.
The speed, agility, and changing team dynamics you just spoke of have also presented great opportunities for innovation when it comes to how security and software are procured. Can you tell me a little bit more about that innovation and share some of the business outcomes that has helped customers achieve?
Yeah, so from the AWS Marketplace perspective, our charter is to work with a third-party ISV ecosystem and get their software available in that same consumable format that AWS customers are used to buying to their AWS services. And so from an innovation perspective, one of the big things that we innovate on is really providing the functionality so that the ISV community can provide their software in a consumption format. And that means providing APIs so that you can do a pay-as-you-go model if you're an ISV. And effectively, that allows our customers to scale up or down as needed and take advantage of the flexibility of the cloud. Now, purchasing is kind of one aspect of it, but another aspect is how you manage those subscriptions once you've purchased them. And one of the innovations that we just launched at our most recent reInvent is managed entitlements. And so that allows customers to now subscribe to Trend Micro at their overall account level, but then now they can grant blocks of Trend Micro down to all their sub accounts. A lot of times our enterprise customers don't just have one cloud account, they have dozens or even hundreds. And so they need an easy way to distribute those subscriptions once they've actually purchased them at that top level administrator account. The other thing that we've seen that we've innovated on is just cost tagging and providing visibility to what's actually going on within an organization. Not only for something that they're buying like Trend Micro, but for all their software. So they can see if there's maybe a security incident, what products are out there, which ones are using certain operating systems, and then they can remediate effectively. And so a lot of the cost tagging functionality that we've built in our platform has really helped our customers innovate and move quickly, but also move fast when there is a problem and they need to figure out what's going on. Another recent innovation that we've had is private marketplace, where it effectively allows our customers to take the 10,000 listings in the marketplace catalog and curate it down to only those enterprise standards. And then they can actually provide a subset of the marketplace catalog out to the developer teams. And that allows them to deploy products on demand, but also make sure that people adhere to those corporate standards. And so we've seen a lot of customer interest in that feature, and it's allowed them to move even quicker using private marketplace. We've also opened that up to actually have an API so that you can actually update that approved vendor list from a different environment. So if you might have a CMDB environment or an ITOM tool that has your approved vendor list, you can now pull all those listings over via API into private marketplace. And then another big one, and the final one that I'll mention, is our integration with procurement systems. So a lot of our customers use large enterprise systems like Ariba or Coupa, and they might want to have that for their overall purchasing process, but they still want to provide that on-demand purchasing experience out of Marketplace. And so we've done all the integration to integrate to systems like Coupa or Ariba, so you have a really good on-demand experience that complements your overall procurement-to-pay environment.
It's pretty incredible to see the AWS Marketplace really innovating and all these new services that have come out. So congratulations on that. Many of our customers that are listening in today procure Trend Micro through the AWS Marketplace. And that's some of the greatest feedback we've gotten is that they really only pay for what they use. And I'm sure the procurement teams love that. So one final question I wanted to ask you, you personally deal with a lot of AWS customers. You see successes and, of course, challenges that they have with the various security solutions they choose. Do you have any advice that you can share on, what customers should be looking for when selecting a security partner?
Yeah, there's a couple of things that I always steer people to take a look at. So first of all, is the security partner that they're looking at, are they truly leaned into the cloud? right? It's not enough just to maybe have an agent that runs on the cloud, but have they done the right integrations and the right innovation to actually leverage what's going on with that cloud provider? And by truly integrated, I mean taking advantage again of features like Marketplace and our APIs for billing, but it can also be features out of our underlying compute platform. Are they taking advantage of auto scaling? So when a customer scales up or down their compute platform, is the software that they're getting also able to take advantage of things like auto scaling? Another thing that I take a look at and really encourage is to look at security ISVs that have a complete story. It's great if you've got a security vendor that might only be able to secure a part of your environment, but the ones that are really going to add you the most value are the ones that have a complete story that can secure what you're doing today on-prem or maybe within just a private cloud, and then also leveraging what's going on in the public cloud environment and having a complete story across your entire ecosystem. And then the third piece that I always look at is that ISV or that security provider, are they constantly innovating? Right? Technology changes by the day. And so are they innovating not just for what you might be using today or maybe where you're going with cloud, but also what's on the horizon? Containers is a really good example. And are you providing, solutions that are only going to secure a small subset, or are they also innovating for other technology trends on the horizon? So if you do choose to go use those different compute platforms, you're not cornered into one ISV and need to make a jump to another.
Well, thank you, Chris, for your time and insight today. I think you really provided some great information, and it's been incredible, like I said, to watch AWS and the marketplace grow. So thank you for your time, and back to the hosts.